Hey, all right, Christy Mattoon here with Rewire. Thank you for being here. I had a little interesting conversation with a client the other day, actually, and we were doing heart coherent work and getting into the heart. And I wanted to tell you this story because it was really significant and actually changed the way I thought about something. I had to do a little bit more work on it myself to kind of understand and figure out what was going on. But I want to show you what I came up with because I find it super interesting, and it's stuff I've known before. But like so many things, you get caught up in life and you don't think and don't forget and forget. And so this has just been brought full circle back up into my face, and actually by two different people recently. The first one was a young lady I was working with, and we were doing the heart-centered work around heart coherence. And I kept telling her to go into her heart and feel love. And at some point, she finally just stopped me, and she goes, I can do gratitude. I get gratitude. She goes, but you say love, and I automatically think kumbaya, and I'm just not into it. And I was like, whoa, okay, kumbaya. And I thought to myself for a second, that's really not what I'm talking about, is kumbaya love. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about love and the roots of love. And if you don't know this, it's just a really interesting study. I've known it in the past from my years in my younger life, from my Christian walk, growing up in a Christian church. And then as I transitioned into new ways of thinking and other understandings, into Messianic Christian concepts and ideas, I learned even more about the Hebrew and the Greek meaning behind words, and even the letters themselves contain their own meaning and correlation to numbers, which is super interesting. So let's talk for a second about kumbaya. The kumbaya version of the word love is actually, it's an English idea, right? It's an Americanized version of love. And it's mostly just about an emotion, or an emotion, right? That's how we think of love. And we turn it on and off like it's a light switch. So Americanized love, the one word represents every kind of love. Love for self, love for others, love for things, love for food, loving animals. Even when we want sex, we say the word love, right? It means everything. And so the word itself really holds no value. The word itself holds no value. And it usually has nothing backing it, even in emotion or action, right? Neither one. And that's kind of what it takes to make something really work, is emotion and action. And if the word itself is powerless because it holds no value and we're just flinging it around like it means everything, it does lose its understanding. And I'm going to show you what I mean in just a second. So the English version, the Americanized version of love. So let's take it back to the Greek, first of all. The Greek had several meanings, or several words for the meaning of the word that we use as love. The first one was eros, and eros was about sexual passion. I'll show you the word. I hope that's not backwards on the screen, but basically it's eros, and it meant sexual passion. So when you were in a passionate entangle with somebody, it was the eros form of love. Think about that for a second. Kind of notice yourself in a position of sexual love. What does it feel like? It has a feeling to it, doesn't it? Now the next one is about a deep friendship. The next word that they used was called philia. And I want to show that to you so you can see the word that I'm talking about. And this word is about deep friendship. It was valued higher than sex, okay, or eros. It was about loyalty, about friends, sacrificing, and sharing. Had nothing to do with sex. All right, so that's the second form of the word that we're looking at. Now I want you to think about a deep friendship that doesn't involve sex. Think about a deep friendship where you share and you sacrifice. Has a feeling to it, doesn't it? It doesn't feel like eros. Okay, I just want you to notice this. The next one is called ludus, the next form of love. It's a playful love, and it could be like dancing with a stranger or even dancing with a friend. It's just a playful form of the word love. And it might actually be, and this was in the dictionary, a playful substitution for sex itself. So it was a playful form of love, but not engaging in sex. All right, ludus. Think of yourself dancing with somebody, like being out in a street festival or something, and you're just dancing because everybody's dancing. The playful form of love. What does that feel like? It has a feeling to it, doesn't it? It's not like Eros, and it's not like the love, philia, the deep friendship form of love. It's different. The next form of love is the one that most people probably go to when they think about forms of love. It's called agape. Agape is a form of love that was meant for everybody. Did I have that on there? Yeah, agape. A-G-A-P-E. It's talked a lot about in the Christian circle. C.S. Lewis wrote a lot about agape love. It was a gift kind of love. It was a giving love. It was the highest form, the way C.S. Lewis wrote about it, of Christian love. Other writers talk about it as a selfless love, a universal loving kindness. All right? Think about that for a second. Just a general love for everybody. What does that feel like? Just keep noticing. It doesn't feel the same, does it? Has a totally different resonation to it. All right, the next one is a long-standing love. It's called pragma, P-R-A-G-M-A. All right, it is about making compromises to help relationships work over time. It involves work. It involves doing something. It involves a deep level of activity and engagement with somebody else. All right? Pragma, long-standing love. It's when you're in for the long haul, and you're not going to let that person fall or fail no matter what. If you've ever been there with a person before, you know what that feels like. Doesn't feel like the other kinds, does it? The last one I had actually not heard of. This word, I've heard it called other things, and I'm not even sure I can say it. It's philautia. It's the love of self. The love of the self. For the Buddhist, it was a self-compassion kind of love. They have their own word for it. It's not ego-driven. It's not narcissism. It's not the kind of love that just draws attention and brings everything to you. It's love because of one's own spirit. This kind of self-love isn't about the physical. It isn't about the junk you own. It isn't about the things you take from people or get from people. It is love of the self based on your spirit, on your true innermost being. Can you feel that? What does that feel like? It does not feel like this kind of love. The kind of love that we throw around in America, and even in other parts of the world at this point, the word love is just a word. It has no backing, usually has no feeling to it, and it has very little action, if any, for most things that we're using the word love for. Okay, I know that there's times when there is, most of the time there's not. Can you agree with me on that? Understanding that there are actually forms of love where it's broken out into different things will help you understand the love of your heart better. The love of being in heart coherence and finding that really deep love, that innermost part of you that just makes you go, It's different than the way we say, oh, I love a hamburger. I love my dog. I love my husband. I love my house. I love my car. It's different. The love inside your heart translates differently, which is why we're wanting to get in there so badly and feel that love, because it's a love that most of us have never felt. We don't even know it exists because we're always operating out of our brain and out of the polarity that we learned love to be. And it's not. We missed the boat on that one. I want to tell you about another form of love. The word itself is Ahavah. I can't even say it now. It trips me up. This is a big one. This is actually a Hebrew word. It's a Hebrew version of love, or a Hebrew idea of love. Ha'avaha. Ha-va. I can't even say it now. I was doing this good a minute ago. I'll show it to you. It's A-H-V-A. I can't even spell it, Ahavah. Okay? If you can understand and grasp this word, your whole concept of love will change. Everything you think about it will change based on this one word alone. It's not the same word that we use in our meaning in America and the word love, Love. It's totally different meaning. It's the hidden word behind the word love biblically. So everywhere the word love is used in the Bible, most times they're talking about Ahavah kind of love. All right? It's not the nonchalant English term that everyone uses for everything. Has very deep meaning to it. Ahavah is connected deeply and directly to action and obedience. Action and obedience. Now, biblically, obedience would mean to God, but we know that the God that resides inside of us is who we're talking about. And it's obedience to this spirit inside you. It's a direct connection and action regarding the spirit. Do you hear what I'm saying? Totally different than the way we use love. It bears the idea of longing. You know how many times I hear people when they come in to work with me say, I'm longing for something. I just don't even know what it is. I can't find it. It's because you're searching outside of you for all of this stuff when the longing you have is inside of you for this deepest, most part of you, your spirit. They say it bears the idea of this longing or breathing for another. Can you imagine breathing for another person? Some of you probably have, keeping somebody alive. I don't know, I've never had to do that. It's profound when you think about it. And then think, what does that feel like? Can you feel that? Can you feel your heart open up just even thinking about it? This form of love, Ahavah, I can't even say it again, is a verb and a noun. It's not either or, it's and both. It's a verb and a noun. It's the act of doing and a way of feeling. It's an act of doing and a way of feeling. The root word, which is Ahav, in Hebrew means to give. The root of this word itself means to give. Ahav. It's a meaningful relationship that happens when both parties are giving. Meaning, then this could be, if you're talking about yourself, your spirit giving and yourself giving back to your spirit. And there's mutual giving going on. Where there is giving, there has to be receiving. Receiving completes the cycle. It completes the cycle of love. And so many times we're in such refusal to receive. We only want to give. We forget to receive, or we just can't do it. We don't think we're supposed to. And you don't complete the cycle of love. Do you see this? This is amazing to me. So the word itself is Ahavah. Ahavah. Get that down. I was doing this fine earlier. It's really making me emotional. I want you to understand our form of love is like you have to be the center of attraction. You have to be the centerpiece of whatever's going on, right? We all want to be in that center stage. But being the center of somebody's attention is not love. It's just not. It's a false form, and it's why it falls apart so badly in this culture, in this world. Okay? Love, while it can be felt, isn't about the feeling. And here's where I wanted to make a correction to my own work and my own system. When I talk about love, I'm always saying feel it, feel it, feel it. But there is always an action to it. I just don't talk about it. There has to be an action to it. Love itself isn't just about the feeling. And I think this is where me and the young lady, when we were working, and she said, I don't do kumbaya. That's where it kind of was it was the feeling that she got from whatever she grew up around with love being this kumbaya kind of thing. Oh, you just feel it and everybody's in this flow. That's not what we're talking about here. It's a kind of love that from inside of your heart, deep inside of you, comes from that spirit part of you. It comes from God. It comes from the energy that's all around you, everything that you're built out of, and whatever word you use for God, apply it here. All right? Apply it here. Ahavah is about emotion. It's not about emotion. It's about action connected to emotion. It takes both, and it's an even exchange of both. And when you're giving and receiving to yourself this kind of love, this nurturing, open, longing for, want to breathe for you kind of love, it changes the whole nature of whatever this word means in our language, love. L-O-V-E. Now here's an even deeper part of this, and this is how deep this can go. In the Hebrew, the letters themselves are broken down into different parts. So there's different parts of the word. And I was just saying, Ahav, that the first 4 letters mean to give. Okay, Ahav, there we go, mean to give. Man, that's tripping me up. Whew. I'm just going to take a deep breath for a second. And the way the word is spelled, each letter itself is a word. All right, so Ahav is spelled in the Hebrew, Aleph, Hey, Bet, Hey. Those are the letters of the word. Aleph, Hey, Bet, Hey. And it's read backwards. It's not read left to right like we read a book. It's read right to left. There's significance in that. Each one of these letters also holds significance to a shape, to like a pictogram. Aleph, I know specifically, is a cow's head or a bull's head. And it means leadership. It means the head of. It means the foremost. All right? And every one of the letters that follow have their own significant meaning. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick again. Hey is a man lifting up his eyes and hands to the heavens. And if you could see, I can show you. Let me see if I can draw this here. So Aleph is an ox head. Hey is kind of looks like a cross, but with arms. That's kind of what Hey looks like. The arms are lifting up to heaven. The head is lifted up to heaven. Okay, that's what the letter looks like in the ancient. Bet is a whole different kinds of looks like the number 9 with a flat top on it. And so Hey means man lifting up his eyes and hands to heaven. Bet means one that comes out of the house or the Son of God. There's meaning behind the letters. There's actually numeric value behind these letters. And when you start to understand this and put it all together, the word love will morph in front of your eyes. You can never think of it the same way. The importance in understanding this is when we're talking about heart coherence and where we're talking about getting into that space of your heart, we are not talking about kumbaya. We are not talking about this external version of love that we've created in this world. Not talking about the love for all the stuff and the way we love each other, and it's kind of iffy, and it's only if you do something for me, can I do something for you? And I don't know if I want to feel that. I don't want to expose my heart to you and let you potentially hurt it. It's not that kind of love. It is a breathing, a desirous, longing for kind of love that drives you into action. It moves you in such a way that you can't turn away. That kind of love only comes from one place. It only comes from one place, that God part of you, that spirit inside of you. And when you can connect with that, love changes. And if you can find a partner connected to that, it's a totally different world. It just is. I hope this helped. I hope when you think about love, you'll start to think about it differently. If you want more information, please contact me, Christy at mindrewire.com. And I hope you the best in this new year. 2020 is going to be amazing. Thank you so much for being here.